This is coffee number 5. I'm your host, Lara Schmoisman.
Hi, you guys. Welcome back to coffee number 5. My coffee's ready. It's getting a little cold today because it's really chilly in LA. But anyway, I was thinking when I started working in marketing with my own agency, and I decided that I want to work with wellness and beauty because this is something that was super attractive to me, and not only understand how, because let's face it, looking good make you feel good. And we all want to be the best we can be. And we want to look at the mirror and feel confident and that we are ready to face the world. So today I invited Michelle Emmick to join me. Okay, Michelle, welcome, and explain us a little bit about your story because there's so much out there.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me on. Yes, I did have a coaching business. I don't do it now. It's more on just if someone calls me and asks me questions, I'll answer them. But I had a coaching business, which was the genesis of that was a 20-year career in the field of aesthetics, primarily working with plastic surgeons. I worked with a lot of national chains, and I also worked with private practice physicians. And it was a tremendous experience. And through those years, I learned really the good, bad, and ugly of plastic surgery. And I wanted to take my expertise, which was non-medical, but be able to transfer that and provide consumers the information they would need to know to have a good patient experience. And that was really what my CoachMD was all about, is those one-on-one consultations to set the patient up for success. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and it is difficult for even a private practice when you're competing against the big, national chains. It is a business. So I was able to provide that insight. And I also did that through my book that I wrote, which is Blue Collar Beauty, Confessions of a Plastic Surgery Coach. And it was that, that book meant a lot to a lot of people because I think, again, there was just so much confusing and conflicting information out there. So that was really the message that I was sending, in addition to the thousands of women that I coached over the years, and having so much emphasis on the outside, which, yes, the outside matters. But at the end of the day, you can have all the procedures you want and the services, but you have to do the work on the inside. And that is what I learned. And that was the message of Blue Collar Beauty. And I, after having success with the book, I thought, how can I expand this message? How can I have the expertise in plastic surgery? There's so many people out there that can be a source of information on all things beauty and wellness. So let's find those people. Let's get the questions answered that the everyday consumer wants to know and needs to know. And we'll do that, and we'll be able to do it in a thoughtful way. And so it's really kind of, that's really the foundation of how Ask Us Beauty magazine started.
That's beautiful. And I mean, I've been looking at your magazine and looking a bit about the book and your story. But my question is this, because I do the marketing part. I know I have to learn the treatments. I have to understand the surgeries in order to put the marketing out there. And what I learned that not every surgery fits everyone.
That's correct.
And that consultation with the doctor is so important. That this is something I always tell my clients, my doctor clients, like, most of the surgeons, all of them are going to perform similar surgeries. But the individual is who is different, and as a doctor, but also as a patient. So you need to feel like that connection with the doctor that you choose.
Yes. And I spent a lot of time over those years coaching physicians. I used to say, they may have their Harvard degree and Stanford degree, but they didn't get those soft selling skills, and they really didn't know how to, connect one-on-one, and how that's so important to the experience is everything to the patient. They want to walk out feeling good about the decision. They're spending a lot of money. Their life is in the hands of this surgeon. So I would spend a lot of time coaching them. But in terms of, marketing, it's interesting because, again, as I mentioned, I work for national chains and then the small practice. And, sometimes, the one with the money tends to be the one that, gets the business. So we had to get creative, and there's so many great surgeons out there that they don't have that business background. So they don't even fully understand how important marketing is to their business.
Oh my God, it's so important. Not only how you explain the treatments and how you sell the treatments, also how you portray the doctor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And, and when it comes to treatments, I mean, there's some great ones out there. But, it depends. It's who has that marketing push that's out there promoting it. And that's why it's so important for the consumer to do their research, because, that piece of equipment, somebody has to pay for that. So a lot of times if you go into certain places, they're pushing something that may not be the best fit for you as a patient. And so that's one of the reasons why I would do what I did, because I'm like, this is not a one size fits all. And just because, your girlfriend had that doesn't mean that's the best option for you. So we're big on, having people go in for several consultations, not just one, and really be thoughtful on your decision.
I'm so glad that you say that, because I see that a lot of the practices, they're investing money in devices. So they're very expensive. And of course, they need to pay those devices. So many times they push those devices. And I'm going to give you an example, because it's something that I like to test places where I go to. And maybe after this episode, I cannot do it anymore. But I lost a lot of weight. So this is little fluffy here under my chin. I have that little thing. And I know that there's no device that will be able to deal with that. That needs surgery. But they're always trying to sell me something. They're always trying to sell me some, magical procedure that I never tried and it will work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way I would explain it to, the consumer, if I was someone that I was coaching, I really look at everything as a scale. So scale of 1 to 10, 1 meaning very minimal result, 10 meaning you're going to get a fantastic result. If you're looking to have a non-surgical procedure and you have a loose skin, will it do something? Sure, it may do a little bit, but you're looking at that, 1, 2, 3 range. Is that worth it? Because at the end of the day, if you have loose skin, that if you want it tightened, you need to have it removed. And any great plastic surgeons know that. So, I don't want to discredit. There's plenty of, pieces of equipment out there that claim things, but you can't replace it with surgery. Surgery is going to give you the 8, 9, 10.
So why the range? Why the range in plastic surgeon that the same surgery would be $5,000 or $20,000?
Meaning, why do they, why do the doctors same procedure charge different things?
Yes.
Well, a lot of that can be, the doctors can charge whatever they want. A lot of it comes down to their experience. There's some doctors that, if they've done, 500 facelifts as opposed to the doctor that's done 5 and they have great outcomes, they can charge more.
But it's the same procedure.
Well, everyone's technique is a little different, but yes, ultimately, yes, same thing. But you want to look at everything, not just, obviously result is so important, but it really is every step. The pre and post-surgical should be looked at. The team, that aftercare is huge. And then I always tell people, make sure to look at before and after photos as well.
Yeah, I always also tell people, look at the office, talk to the office managers, talk to the front desk, because in aftercare, you might have questions. So you want someone who's going to pick up the phone. You want to find someone who's going to be there for you, that they have, maybe the doctor is not available, but that you have a nurse that will answer the phone for you and answer questions.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All of the above.
So what are the things that people should be considering as a warning or a red flag when they're looking for a surgeon?
Well, obviously one would be, you want to make sure that you meet the doctor. That's crucial. And there are places that have that where they don't, up until the day of surgery, which that should never happen. That you don't feel rushed. That's a big one. You really want to be able to, feel comfortable in that environment. And you can also research the surgeon's background, make sure there's nothing on the record that you might need to know about. Again, marketing can do a lot of things. I know plenty of doctors, even when we talk about magazines, which is, again, one of the reasons I can go into many about why we have Ask Us Beauty, but I can't tell you how many doctors I've seen featured in magazines, and we all know, and everybody out there who's watching, that knows the industry, we all know there's doctors that are featured because they paid $20, $30, $40,000 to get a spot in a magazine. And I mean, we all know, we're like, I've never let that doctor touch me. So,
And that's not even PR. That's called pay-per-play, which to me is seriously a red flag. Someone who needs to, I never do that for my clients, very unique situations, but I find it like it's borderline not ethical to get interview for something that you didn't do or highlight something that is empty there. You want
well, it happens all the time. And, and I think that's one of the things. It's disheartening because you think, why wasn't this person vetted? Or it's just about money. That's sad.
So let's move to Ask Beauty. Tell us about Ask Beauty. How it came about. You told us a little bit about that, but how? Because I see so many. I'm looking right now, and you guys should be looking at the screen, and I'm looking like you're featuring Kendra Scott. So, what is Ask Beauty about? What do you feature? How do you choose your articles?
Absolutely. Our Ask Us Beauty is a platform. I always say it's a platform of positivity, but it is all things beauty and wellness. And our goal is to showcase beauty in all its forms. Again, after spending so many years in the industry, there is first and foremost, the unrealistic images that were put out there. I had coached thousands of women. They do not look like the picture that's on the front of the plastic surgeon's website and it's all the same. It's the woman with very thin six-pack abs, no cellulite, long hair, big lips. Those weren't the women I was meeting with. I was meeting with everyday women that wanted to look and feel their best. So I wanted something that would show images of everyday beauty, women in all sizes, shapes, forms. I think a place for, as I mentioned about small business, if you don't have a big marketing machine pushing you out there, small businesses, whether it's plastic surgeons or any business, it's hard for them to compete. So we wanted a platform for that. And then also the misinformation, which again was the catalyst of my book and to the magazine. I have the background in plastic surgery that I can educate people, but we've become, a world where everything is a highlight reel and everything is influence based, right? So this person, we don't know what's true. And so for really the magazine is primarily midlife women. I'm about to turn 50, but for our demographic is women and people that want authenticity. And they want stories that are going to educate, empower, and inspire them, which are our pillars. And so we really look for individuals that can do one or not all three of those things. And those are the people that we choose to feature. We want it to be uplifting, and we want to walk away feeling good. And as I said, feeling educated and feeling empowered. And that's how we go. That's how we choose everyone that goes into the magazine.
But I also see like you have the space to find an advisor, how the advisory works.
So if you're interested in being an advisor, this is, again, a spot for someone who's maybe maybe they're a coach and they're just getting started and they want to have some type of, they want to have some visibility, because visibility is very difficult. And I've been learning as I go, because I know that media attracts media. And so you have to get yourself out there. And not everybody can afford, PR. That would be nice. And some people that do have PR. So we want to be able to we have a directory online. We have opportunities for people if they want to write and blog on our site. So we try to give, space to everyone that can showcase their skills.
That's amazing. And so will covers that coaching as the coaching MD. It's a little bit of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of everything, right? So we have aesthetic, advisors, we have wellness coaches, we have life coaches, we have psychologists. It's really anyone in that space that falls into beauty and wellness, because again, we believe beauty comes in all forms. It's in our professional lives, our personal passions, our health, our wellness, our friends, family. People just automatically assume when they think beauty, they think makeup and hair. And while those things are great, beauty comes from the inside out. And every single person that we have interviewed, when we ask that question, it always is the same. It's like this beauty radiates from within and all those things. So we really want to push that message.
And that's great. But also, I'm not going to be naive and say that it doesn't matter how you look. It does
Of course
matter.
it does.
It does matter. It does matter when you feel dressed and you feel all those things empower you. I always say that, and my team laugh about this, that before I went a meeting, lipstick.
Yes. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's the thing. Like we always say, it's do you. Define beauty on your own terms. If you want to have plastic surgery, have plastic surgery. If you want to go fresh-faced and you're all natural, it's, let's remove the judgment and let's educate people and let's put out the positive and showcase, again, people and beauty in all its forms. We don't, that's one of the things we pride ourselves on, is showing people from different backgrounds and different stories. And that's really resonated with our community.
And also, all these beauty treatments and including surgery is meant to an end, is to correct or make you feel better in certain angle or a certain aspect of your physique. But for some people, it's a never-ending story.
I was going to say, Lara, it's, being in that 20 years in that space, it is highly addictive because you just start obsessing with what's next, more and more and more. And, at some point you have to stop and really say, again, ask yourself the questions. Because if you don't do the work on the inside, you're never going to feel good on the outside.
And the truth is, you're going to age. That's true, and it happens. So the only thing you can do is to age and to learn how to age graciously. What I learned being in the beauty industry, for example, is like before I was in the beauty industry, I was going to a mall and say, okay, I need a cream. What can I get? And I will buy whatever they would recommend me. And I didn't know about the ingredients. I wasn't reading, and I didn't know what I needed for my type of skin, for my age. And since I started learning that and I started using what I needed and not what someone was telling me, my skin changed completely.
100%. And that's exactly right. It's about because you took the time to educate yourself and find out, because again, we talk about clean beauty and people hear those words and we know that, that's a whole conversation, but we want to know what we're putting on our face, putting in our body, whether it's what we eat, what we wear, all those things. It's really about educating. We just didn't know, it's like when you know better, you do better. Well, we want to know. And I don't want to get caught up on somebody who's doing a TikTok video that is being paid to push a product that and that's what it's come to. People don't know. They're like, oh, this person said it was great, and then it was not great for them.
It was great for them, maybe.
Yes, great for them. Not great for me. Right.
Exactly. But also there are so many devices out there that I found a few that they're great. And that's a first great step before you commit to a surgery.
Absolutely. And there's a whole demographic of people that aren't ready to take the leap into surgery. So there are alternatives. People just need to know. And the market that I dealt with, a lot of them, some have discretionary income where they can be like, hey, I don't care what I spend. But there's a lot of people, they spend every dollar that they have. They need to know what they're getting. They don't need to walk out getting, liposuction if they really need a tummy tuck. That's
that's a huge one.
And you don't tell me that you need a procedure that's gonna freeze the fat. I won't name names, but because somebody said, "Oh yeah, this is gonna work for you," and I just spent $5,000-$6,000 of my hard-earned money, and they're unhappy because they didn't get it was a unrealistic expectation.
I'm talking about those devices. There are a lot of those devices. First of all, the devices that are preventive. Some other devices, when you have something to correct, it's a different story. And there are some things that it's inevitable, that if you need surgery, you need surgery. The devices, like you were saying, doing a liposuction won't help you with the saggy skin.
Right, but if you go to somewhere that doesn't have maybe a doctor on staff, or you're not meeting a doctor, or say it's a med spa, who are you meeting with?
Yeah.
You're meeting with a consultant. Yeah. You're not meeting with a doctor. And that consultant is getting paid a commission. So
The same with the post-op or post-treatment upsells.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
the other day, I was in the middle of a treatment of microneedling, and they were trying to push me to buy more products, and they're expensive products. And I was like, why are you doing this? First of all, in the middle of a procedure, that's not how it's done.
No.
And
Well, yeah, I mean, they have metrics that they're trying to hit, and they're looking at, and again, this is the business behind it, right? You know, how many people call, how many people book an appointment, how many show, how many convert, how many are upsold. I mean, this is the way it works. Just because it's a medical industry, it's still driven by the dollar.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Michelle, thank you so much for your insights. I think a lot of people are going to love this episode, and probably they're going to hit you up with some more questions. But thank you, everyone. I'm going to put all your chapter notes here about the Ask Us Beauty and how people can get into the magazine. Remind me, there are hardcover that they can get, but also there are articles that they can get on the website.
Yeah, it's digital and print, and we have a lot of our articles that are right on the website that you can read. But yeah, we would love your support. Subscribe to us, and we celebrate 2 years in June. We are women-owned, independently owned. Very proud of that, and we're disrupting the industry.
That's amazing. Congratulations. And you guys, Ask Us Beauty, and you'll get more in the chapter notes. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you again for more Coffee Number 5 next week.
It was so good to have you here today. See you next time. Catch you on the flip side. Ciao, ciao.